Welcome to the YouTube channel where we talk about everything lead gen, home of the performance marketers, people that like to arbitrage and make markets. My name is Eric, and every day on this channel, we talk about how to make money online, how to use leads, turn them into customers, all strategies around how you can do that and more. So stick around because today I have a treat for you. We have a framework that you're gonna love. A question people ask me all the time: how do I get traffic? Today we're gonna talk about a 3-step framework or a process on how you get traffic and so much more. So much more. You guys are in for a treat today, so stick around. Things have been going well, right? We're starting to get more subscribers, starting to get more views. I'm getting a lot of people reaching out to me, and there's a lot of things that I get asked all the time. A lot of people are asking me about how they can work with me. Can they join my program? Can I help them? Can we do a one-on-one consulting? I just want to put it out there, right? Right now, everything I'm doing for you guys is free. I'm not charging anything. The more people that keep asking me, I'm going to be forced to create something. So I'll do it sometime in 2022. It's got to be set up and structured the right way where I can deliver and meet the expectations of what people would need and want, and it also works for me in my life because I'd be doing it more for helping people, making an impact. It's not about the money. Like, I practice what I preach. Everything we talk about on this channel, I do. We earn a living by the things that I'm trying to show you. I don't need to make money by coaching. I'll do something, I just gotta work it out. But if you're interested, obviously just keep reaching out and stay in the loop. When I announce it, being on my text community is helpful. I'll likely be announcing it to people in my communities first before I put it out into the world. You know, if you want to be in my community, 917-636-1998. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. We'll announce it there. But with that said, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about getting good content out into the world for all you people, all you entrepreneurs and people that are media buyers and people buying leads or wanting to buy leads or wanting to quit their job to create some financial stability and wealth in your family. You could do it without having much of an investment. You know, it's hustle, hard work. That's what we do. I'm gonna answer the question that I get all the time, which is how do you get traffic? I have a little presentation here that I'm sharing with you. We talked about frameworks, right? Processes, systems, and we talked about how you wanna try to become the category king, right? So like this channel is all about lead gen, right? We're talking about lead generation, you know, arbitraging media. We're talking about us being market makers. You gotta name those things. The way that you become the category king is you name them. So I've been screwing around with it, you know, as we get going. I just think something's gonna stick at some point that's gonna feel natural, right? We started with my perfect survey method, my perfect traffic method, the beer traffic method, lead traffic method, traffic acquisition method, right? There's so many different things we can come up with. It's funny when you start coming up with names, you start thinking about it, and it's like, we were like, my perfect survey method. But so, like I said, entrepreneurs are asking me all the time, how do I get traffic? How do I find leads? They're asking me, like, when I tell you I go to a conference, if I had $1 for every time someone asked me that question, or if I show you my text community, the amount of text that I get, or just messages, it's wild, really wild, and I love it. And I truly love it because that means people want to learn. They think that I have some answer for them, which is great, and I do. The thing, though, that I always try to look at is, yes, you want to look for leads. Yes, you need traffic to get leads. But the better question is, how do you find your customers? Leads are potential customers. You want to find your customers. You don't want to just get leads. You want leads that will convert into customers. First, what I'm going to do, because I find that a lot of people, as I start talking to them and I start using different words, marketing words, etc., they get lost just on the actual word itself because they don't understand what it means. So as I go through this, I'm gonna define some things and then I'm gonna try to recap it as we go through. This is gonna, honestly guys, I could probably sell this course right now. I could, what I'm about to talk about, I could likely sell as a course. This is serious stuff. So, you know, take out your pen, take out a pad, and start taking some notes. Because this is gonna, first I wanna define what marketing is, okay? Marketing is a process, okay? It's really important for you to understand. It's a process. What you're doing when you're marketing is you're promoting, or you're advertising something, a product or service, to your target market. And this is the one thing that I always find that's really challenging for people, which is a market. A market is a place, okay? I want you guys to truly understand that. Simple, it's just a place where people go, buyers and sellers go to buy and sell something, right? To facilitate some transaction, right? So some examples of that, just so you can wrap your head around this, because we use the word market a lot, right? Stock market, bid, sell. People go to some exchange and they're trading, right? We're calling it a jewelry exchange, right? There's a bunch of jewelers that are in a place. People go there to look for jewelry, right? Any marketplace, could be a farmer's market. So similar to that of what we're doing, we're looking to market online. We're marketing, which is the process, to a market, which is a place, okay? In this scenario, it's online. Amazon, as an example, is a market. Leads, they're a person or a company, depending on if you're doing B2C or B2B. All this is you're getting somebody who has an interest in whatever it is you're selling. I find when I talk to a lot of people in the lead gen space, especially like these big players, they lose sight on that because there's so much data. They talk about like leads as data. A lead's a person. Every lead is somebody that's signing up for something, clicking on something, purchasing something. They're real people, and you got to understand that. It's really important you understand that because it all starts from the front end. I'm going to start recapping this as we go through, just so you guys can see this. And if you guys want this definition recap afterwards, just ask me, and I can get it to you. When you're generating leads, there's lead temperature, and that is all based on the lead quality, right? So typically we like to refer to that as cold traffic, warm traffic, hot traffic. Cold traffic has any idea about you, right? These are the things that we try to focus on. It's top of the funnel. Warm traffic, they know you, maybe they bought something from you, very low ticket. And then the hot is somebody that knows you, buyer, they're ready to roll. They've bought from you already, they're ready to buy from you. Those are the people that you're honing in on. It's really important for you guys to understand that every lead has a value, every lead has a certain quality. Lead generation, it's a process, right? Leads are the people or the companies that have the interest in what you're buying or selling. This is the process where you're attracting customers. Same thing as marketing is a process. Process is we want to look to attract leads that are the potential customers for our product or service. So definitions recap, marketing's a process, market is a place, leads are people, and lead gen is a process that you are in marketing, right? So we talked about this earlier, and this is important, right? When we talk about lead quality, typically, one of the most powerful things is being able to generate leads that are cold. Why? Because that means you can scale your business, right? It's great when you have people in your database and warm leads and hot leads, and those are the people that want to buy. To grow your business, you still need to be able to generate leads on a daily basis of new people coming in that are in your pipeline that you're going to work to educate, nurture, to become warm, to become that hot lead that's going to buy from you, right? You can't expect people to buy from you day one, right? You can't just throw things down their throats. You got to let them get to know you. The thing about this is it's the top of the funnel. So you have multiple funnels. You have funnels for your cold traffic, you have funnels for your warmer traffic, and you have funnels for your hot traffic, right? And that's all around getting a lead in the beginning, attracting them because they don't really know much about you. It's different than trying to get them to buy a book from you, sign up for a challenge, go and watch a webinar. Very different. What we're doing is top of the funnel. This is before you get into your sales funnels. So when we're creating our platform, like we complement platforms that have these sales funnels. So like a ClickFunnels, for example, like Survey Detective would be a complement to a ClickFunnels because of the process, the method that we're going to show people on how you can go and generate leads will then funnel into sales funnels later on. So just kind of visual here. Obviously the idea is you want to attract the leads on the front end. We can get into that all day long. I can create frameworks around that. There's a lot of things that we would need to go over on creating ads and how you're positioning it, all that good jazz. Ultimately, here's just another little like visual for you to get an idea of what's going on, because I like visuals, right? And I took some screen grabs on the internet, honestly. Like I could draw things for you all day long, right? But this was kind of like the easiest way to do it, just to give you a second idea. But so now we're gonna dive into this, okay? So on the 3 steps, here we go. 3-step traffic framework. Number 1, and the most important, is the who. You need to know who it is you're talking to. This is so important. This is something that people skip. If you don't know who you're talking to, game over before you start. For you to do this the right way, you need to understand who these people are. And that's all around creating your avatar, okay? That's understanding the people that are your buyers. You wanna talk to the people, right? We're looking for people that are going to fit your specific product or service. We wanna niche down to the point where we know as much about them as we possibly can. And that's how you compete with people in the marketplace. You can compete with some of the largest companies in the world if you become a specialist, if you niche down and you understand who it is you are talking to. Here's some ways that people will go about creating some of these avatars. So you look at it by goals, values, challenge and pain points, objections, sources of information, how they consume content, what do they do, how much do they make, where do they live, all that good jazz. It's building avatars, right? If you look at this, there's avatar sheets out on the internet. You can go Google it and find some, or if you need it, I'm happy to put one together for you. But you gotta do this. To the point where you wanna be able to look at a picture and be like, that's my customer. You wanna write all this out, right? You wanna understand everything, okay? So that's really important. We need to know the who, because we wanna know who our target market is. What does that mean? Well, there's a market, right? If you sell computers, well, there's a market for people that buy computers. You ultimately want to create a target market, right? Remember, a market is a place where people go. We want to be able to aim to advertise our product or service to a certain segment within the market, a smaller subset, right? So when you look here, a group of leads or potential customers that you aim to advertise your product or service to, that is a segment of the total market. So as an example, right, if you have total market, then you could have a subset of that market, and you could have a segment, another segment, another segment. The more you learn about them, the more you understand them, you can start to create these different segments. Like I said, I'm gonna keep defining these, right? Marketing process, market is a place where people go. A lead is a person or a company interested in your product or service. That's going to be a potential customer. Lead gen's the process, and target market is taking those leads, those potential customers, and grouping them so that you can now target and aim to advertise a certain message to them. When we're talking about this and you're building out your avatars, now you think about you and when you grew up and your mindset and what drove you, and those are the things that you're going to start to build your avatar around. But in addition to that, there's really two ways. One that I don't even have here, and why I have this survey platform, is because you just ask people. That's the whole point of like the survey, quizzes, assessments, is you're asking people and they're self-declaring things to you. It's so powerful. It takes the guesswork out of the equation. The second thing is data. When I say data, what I mean by that is there's a lot of different ways, whether it's from, and we'll get into this a little bit later as I go down there, but like your demos, your geos, all that good jazz, right? And that's kind of all goes together, like, and we'll dive deeper in a bit as we get further down the path. But there's things out in the marketplace today, right? Like you can go into Facebook Audience Insights, which is now called Meta. There's so much information that they have about people that you can start to go and research to help with understanding your audience. Google Analytics, they tell you all the kind of behaviors people are taking, what they're doing. LinkedIn Insights. I mean, guys, there's so much data on the internet, which is scary, by the way. That's the whole issue with the whole cookies and all that good jazz, and that's why it pops up where you have to like accept that they're going to cookie you or reject it, whatever, with the whole retargeting and privacy acts. But the thing is that there's so much data out there for you to utilize. This is all super, super helpful on a lot of different levels. But the thing is that it's helping you because you want to break down and segment your audience. What does segment mean? You're dividing your target market into groups. These people are gonna have very similar characteristics. You gotta be really careful when you do this, because when you're segmenting your audience, you need to think about it as almost like being polarizing. You do not want one person to be able to fit into two separate segments. If that happens, then everything that happens after that, it's just not going to be as effective as it should be. Because the whole idea is that you're personalizing the messaging to that specific audience, that segment, right? And these people have these similar characteristics that when you go and you ask a question and you're going to segment them based on a certain question or questions, they need to, like, no-brainer, fit into a certain segment, and that's it. Kind of recapping that for you: target market, segment, you got all this, right? Market segmentation. A market is a place where all the buyers and sellers go for you to facilitate a transaction. Segmentation is to divide them into separate groups of similar characteristics. Market segmentation is a process, okay? It's the process of you dividing your target market, right? You're aiming at a certain market of people that are going to transact somewhere into groups, and those people will have similar characteristics. Here's the thing: segmentation allows you to personalize your messaging, and in return, it creates a better open rate, a better click rate, a better conversion rate, a higher EPC. Guys, it's a no-brainer. People mass market, they just dump it out into the world, and it's great. If it works, awesome. If all your competitors are doing that, awesome. That means there's opportunity for you. That means there's opportunity for you to really take hold of a certain market, a target market, by you going and you just keep getting into those subsets, lower, 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 right? It's like, you know, soccer mom, then you have soccer moms that are single, then you have soccer moms that are single with more than 2 kids over the age of 10. And you just keep going, right? And you start building out the who. And the more you can do that, the deeper you can go, the more relevant your messaging is going to be. You're going to be able to speak to them, you're going to understand them. They're going to be like, oh my God, these people totally get me, right? People want to buy stuff from you. But so here's some research. Campaign Monitor is the source. Marketers who use segmented campaigns saw a 760% boost in email revenue. I mean, guys, 7.5+ times. Powerful, man. So the types of segmentation. I'm not going to go deep into this because you can, and I love this part. This is so awesome. This is where I have like a lot of fun. Really, like it's so much fun because of like how you can segment. There's a lot of different ways, but there's really 4 ways that you can do it. High level, right? In the traditional marketing world, which is demographics or firmographics. So firmographics just mean that you're looking at the demo of a company versus a person. So demographics are people, firmographics would be the company. Geographics, psychographic, and behavioral. When I start doing this and like, you know, do you have a marketing degree? It's over. Okay, I got to simplify it. I realize that, right? What I've done is I've been able to show you here a little bit of like some of the criteria for each. But what I'm doing is I'm ultimately showing you who are they, where are they, what are they thinking, and how do they behave? What are they doing? Okay, that's ultimately it. Once you can dive into that, there's so many different ways you can segment, right? That's why when we look up here, you know, like by geo, country, city, density, language, climate, area, population, right? Demo, you can literally segment in each of these ways, right? It's powerful because once you do and you understand these people, I mean, guys, you can start to talk to them in a way where you're going to resonate with them in a way that no one else in the world is doing this. The 4 main types: who, where, what they think, what they do. Ultimately, segmenting by behavior. So this is all by like buying patterns. So there's the VIPs, customers who shop the most often, who spend the most money. They could be spending $150 versus an active long-term user who recurs, keeps coming back. You know, then there's customers that you're reactivating, low-tier customers, new customers, people that just visited the site, right? You can segment by different behaviors. Number 2 in the traffic framework that we have here, once we understand the who, is where are they? This is so important, guys. How do I get traffic? How do I get leads? How do I create traffic? Guys, you don't create traffic. Traffic is already out in the marketplace. I probably should define traffic, right? Probably should one of the definitions, which I did not do. My little guy Ozzy. All right, Oz, you want to come in and talk to people? Let's do it. It's my guy. All right, buddy. I'm going to define what traffic is. You're in a car. You're driving somewhere. Sometimes it's a breeze. If I go on a Monday or a Tuesday or Wednesday, it could take me 2-3 hours if the traffic is bad, right? There's a ton of cars. There's just a buildup. There's a lot of people there. Traffic on the internet is just people going somewhere. I could be sitting in traffic or not, but I'm going somewhere. Traffic to websites, traffic, people go to Facebook, people open that app every single day, right? People go to YouTube. The traffic is there, guys. All you're doing is trying to get in front of them. The reason why you need to know who they are is because you need to know where they are on the internet. That is why it's so important when you're trying to go out and generate leads and turn those leads into customers. You know, we can talk about messaging, attracting them, creating curiosity, but guys, you gotta get in front of the right people. But if you don't know who you wanna get in front of, you can't do it. And if you don't know who you wanna get in front of, you don't know where they are. You wanna go and find where they're hanging out. The whole idea here is that people are going to be hanging out on the internet, right? So when you look, we look at like referral traffic sources. So ultimately, these are all different platforms that you could potentially market your offer to. You're gonna advertise, right? Marketing, you're gonna market. These are different places that people are hanging out, that they're looking to transact, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Everywhere on the internet. But where are they, right? The whole idea is all of this, they're just different traffic sources that are going to get people to come to you. Your goal is you just want to get people from that platform to engage with you. And you want to get them ultimately to give you some information so you can build up your database so that then you now control your media. We want to get people to sign up for something so they come into our database. So we get some information. So now we can retarget to them. We can communicate with them, whether it's on the phone, dial on them, we can text them. I don't gotta pay Facebook anymore. Send them an email. I don't gotta pay Facebook anymore. Now you control traffic. You wanna talk to somebody, you press send. You dial on them, you text them. That's the asset that you're building. Every lead gen company, the asset is you own your own records, your own data, your own leads. The higher the quality, the more intent they have, the more valuable it is, and you monetize those people by getting them to buy products and services. That's the business, right? That's how you sell your company. If you're a lead gen company, you want to sell your company, you need to have data. Otherwise, you're one slap away from your business being over. Referral traffic sources, right? So there's different kinds of different traffic sources: social, email marketing, content and blogs, links from other sites, organic search, paid search, social media. There's two types of traffic, right? You can go out and you can pay for traffic, right? You buy an ad. Or there's that whole influencer world, which maybe you have a following, and if you do, then you're awesome and amazing, right? Like I'm here, I'm trying to build up a community. If you're watching this, then you're part of my community and I'm making an impression on you. From my perspective, I just want you guys to understand this, we're like market makers, right? When I started my company and things that I could teach people that have $0, want to quit their job and get into this business, you're ultimately becoming a market maker. Arbitrage is ultimately, and we've talked about this in the past in other videos, but I wanted to just put it out here just in case you're new to this channel and you've never seen this before. And if you are new, please subscribe so that you can get all of this great content every time we launch it. Arbitrage is ultimately you're buying and selling the same asset for profit. Just to go and recap here: marketing, market, lead generation, target market segmentation, arbitrage. I got to recap this because I feel like it's a lot of information and I feel like this is helpful. So I'm going to leave this here for a moment. You guys take a look at it, right? Marketing is when you have a process to go and you market. The market is a place where people go to buy something. A lead is a person or a company. The lead gen is the process. The target market is the group of leads that you're creating as a segment to target, right? And what are we doing when we segment? We're dividing them into separate groups that have exact same characteristics. They're all the same in that group. And market segmentation is you divide the target market into groups with similar characteristics, right? So you've identified your segments and now you're creating your segmentation of that market. So now you're going deeper, right, with what we do with the soccer moms. And to arbitrage, which is what we do, right, I do that. This is how I built my business, right, arbitrage media. I ultimately buy and sell the same asset for a profit. So earlier I said market maker. People that aren't familiar with it, on Wall Street, with Knight Securities who did not hire me, what they do is they ultimately create markets, right, buyers and sellers, with creating liquidity in a market for stocks. So bid, ask, what they'll do is they'll have a bid, let's say for $1, and then the ask would be $1.25. So they would buy and sell at the same time, and the spread would be 25 cents, and they would make money in between. So market makers on Wall Street would make a spread. We're performance market makers. That's what we do. That's what I do. Performance market makers is, I think, a good name for us, right? We do the exact same thing. Difference is we're profiting from the difference between what the buyer is willing to pay for a lead and what the seller, the media, is willing to help generate that lead, whether we're paying for a click or we're paying on a cost per lead basis, and we're making the difference there. Once you get that set up, it's a good deal and you create cash flow, and that's how you build your business. Marketing, a process to promote and advertise any product or service to a target market. Again, what's a market? It's a place where all buyers go to buy something, right? And there's sellers that will sell something. It's a place. Lead, a person or company. Lead generation is a process to attract all of your leads. Your target market is a group of leads that are potential customers that you're aiming to advertise your services to. Segment, we're going to divide them into separate groups. Market segmentation is we're now in the process of dividing our target market into the groups with the same characteristics. And we're arbitraging media where we buy and sell the same asset for a profit. And as a performance marketer, we're making the difference between the buyer and the seller, or whatever it is that we're doing. Okay? Boom. That's a process. So number 3 is positioning. So my 3-step traffic framework is knowing who they are and where they are, and then how do you position it? Now we got to figure out, because we know who they are, where they are, once we can identify where they are, if we know who they are and we know where they are, right? We know that they're soccer moms. We know these soccer moms are going on to different soccer sites, right? Some different groups within Facebook, different channels on YouTube. However it is you're going to target these people. Now you need to position your product or service to your market. Market positioning is ultimately you creating this image in the person's mind about your product. When they think about you, they think of something. Branding, right? You hear about branding all day long, which, by the way, we don't do. We don't do brand. We can't afford branding, right? We don't have enough money in our pockets to go and brand something like these big companies that do it and buy these Super Bowl ads and all that. That's not what we do. We don't do that. We're direct response marketers. We are result driven. When we go and we spend $1, we need to make $1.20. When you're going and you're trying to create a market positioning, it's creating the perception in somebody's mind, but you're doing that with your messaging. But your messaging is all based on then driving a result. Here's an idea of market positioning, right? Ultimately, it's all around, like I said, creating perception, right? When you do something with our survey, AISTP, right? That's our survey method. Attract, identify, segment, target, position. When we do that, right? When we segment into these 3 or 4 different buckets, and then what we're doing is we're going to create these target markets, and then we're going to then market segment the target market. We're going to create perception. We're going to position our product or service differently to each segment based on their objections, based on their challenges, based on their age, based on their income, lifestyle, whatever. There's a lot of different ways. I have a few different ways that I break it down to simplify this because there's so many things you can do. I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's just another framework that I can talk to you about, right? A framework within a framework. Remember, like box within a box? That's another framework for segmentation. I could talk to you about the different ways to segment, and there's just a few that are just the normal kind that we would do in simplifying it for people that would come and use the surveys. Just to get an idea, just giving you like a visual, right? So if you look here, high quality, low price, high price. So M&M's, low price, low quality versus Dairy Milk's a little higher, Kit Kat, a little higher, Mars, higher. Just giving you an idea here of what we're looking at, right? That's how this market perceives all these different brands. It's how they're positioning it to the market. A perceptual map, which is something you just saw, what it does is it's a visual representation of how your customers are viewing each brand. So ultimately, it looks at where do consumers rank companies and how they compare them to the competing companies. Make sense, guys? Is it starting to like hit a little bit, right? But if you look here, right, people that are buying expensive stuff, North Face, Asics, Reebok, Nike, Puma, Skechers, high tech, is very different type of consumer than the person that's going to be riding this Gola or Fila, right? New Balance is lower, Adidas is middle of the pack, Converse. That's all just simple price. That's just one way of how you look at it. Like people's minds, in their mind, they perceive that North Face should be more expensive than New Balance. If New Balance wanted to change that perception, they would have to go back, reverse engineer everything, look at their competitors. What are they doing? How are they doing? How are they creating this perception in the marketplace? And then they'd have to create a different marketing campaign. And you'd kind of go back to the whole thing. Who are they? Where are they? How are we positioning our product or service? And then all the things that go in between of that with the target marketing and all that good jazz. So here it is. Who, where, market positioning. 3-step traffic framework. We could always dive in. We could easily go deeper on each of these. And guys, I just spent some good time with you and I didn't even scratch the surface. That's what's, it's so awesome and beautiful. But so just to give you like a little bit of recap, lead gen is at the top of the funnel. Okay, this is where we're starting. It's the cold traffic. It's the people that don't know that we're coming for them, that they need us, that they want us. They don't even know it yet. They don't know it. And that's why we need to be really good at knowing who is it. We need to find them. We need to know who they are. We need to know where they are. And then we have to resonate with them. We need to create some perception and market our product where we position ourselves in a way that the people that need us know that they need us, that we grab their attention. And the only way we can do that is if we know them. Top of the funnel, right? Tofu, mofu, bofu. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Here's the 3 steps. Just some things that I grabbed off the internet that I would go through with you guys, just to give you guys a better understanding for examples, right? Is percentage of traffic from social for some of these websites, okay? I just want you to understand this from the traffic source. Remember, we're not creating traffic, we're finding traffic. We're finding out where they are, right? So Washington Post, the most traffic is Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, StumbleUpon, other. These are their social channels. But ultimately, the 3-step traffic framework. There's 3 main steps. You need to know who it is you're talking to. Then you can figure out where they are on the internet. And then you just have to position your product or service to each of your segments. You want to attract the right audience so that you can identify what segment they belong in, so you can create your target markets to position your product or service in a way that each segment feels like you're speaking directly to them when your core offer never changes. That's it. Boom. If you look at it here, here's the definition recap. I think it's really important for you guys to understand this. I'm telling you, the amount of people that keep asking me questions like this, I needed to do this. I needed to do this because it's helping you. It's helping some people. If you already know it, you're awesome. You're way ahead of some of the people here. but people need this. So it is what it is. With that said, guys, that's my 3-step traffic framework on a very high level. I'll start diving in deeper on different pieces of the frameworks. So the box within the box within the box. It seems like most of the people want to see, for whatever reason, the videos that do the best, how to make $1 million in a year, how to make $80,000 a month, how to do this in blah, 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 blah. It just seems like those are the things that resonate with people. I'll likely be doing more of those types of videos, but I just felt like it was important for us to kind of go through this a little bit. You guys get some good knowledge behind you, because it's, we're talking about like the whole, like the lead gen, right? But this part, this is like training, man. Like I could sell this. This stuff here, guys, you understand this? Oh my God. God bless you. You're in a good place. You have the ability to go and make anything you want happen. With that said, guys, listen, I appreciate you all. Whoever's watching this, if you're here till the end, man, you're my guy or gal. You're part of my diehards. You really want this, and I promise you it'll pay off. If you stay and you keep working hard and you persevere, you believe in yourself, don't be afraid to fail, I can guarantee you that you will succeed. Never give up, just get started. With that said, guys, thank you for being here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my podcast, follow me on my social channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Appreciate you guys for all being here. This was awesome. I had fun. Hope you did too. Hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, ask me. Again, you can text me, 917-636-1998, or you can comment below and I'll respond. But with that said, guys, thank you for being here, and be well.